Pokemon Masters, Birdkeepertoby here. Do you know, I don't just collect Pokemon and gym badges. I've also explored the nuclear fallout that is the capital wasteland. I've saved the Princess Zelda from the wrath and clutches of Ganon. I play a lot of video games. I also did a poll on Twitter as to what you wanted to see, and you said a top 10 and about something not Pokemon Sun and Moon would be good. And so I thought, as E3 has just passed and every year that gets me excited about playing different video games, I'd reminisce about my top 10 favorite. These are the 10 video games that, by the way, I think are the best, and not necessarily the best graphically or that have the best story. I'm just saying, in terms of my opinion, these are the best that the video game industry has to offer. And so while many of you will know me for Pokemon, here is my recommendation to you of at least 9 other franchises. Because surprise, surprise, Pokemon's going to be on the list. So if you have the right consoles, and you're old enough, of course, here are my top 10 favorite video games. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to youtube.com/Birdkeepertoby for more Pokemon videos. Number 10, Super Smash Bros. 4. Oh my god, he said Super Smash Bros. 4, not Melee. Here's the thing, and I know I'm going to annoy a lot of my Smash Brothers playing friends who are out there. To me, Super Smash Bros. 4 is just a refinement on the series as a whole, so I haven't actually spent a lot of time playing them before, although what I have I actually seem to be quite good. The game is essentially an upgrade on Super Smash Bros. Melee, and no, we don't count Brawl, that wasn't great. Now, I'm not normally into fighting games, but something about the collection of all of these amazing characters from various Nintendo franchises coming together to just punch each other in the face. And while a lot of the games I play are usually competitive, which means no items at a flat stage, the madness of throwing in items like Pokeballs and hammers and stars, and of course baseball bats, makes this franchise just one of the most fun ones on this list. And to be honest, I don't even see why there's even YouTube drama, because people getting involved with arguments with each other, just go on Smash Bros and sort it out. But maybe not, because I have found that historically Smash Bros is the franchise that's more likely to ruin a friendship. Still, as much as I love Melee, I love the latest installment, and I hope they continue to improve in future installments. Number 9. So much to my surprise, E3 just re-announced this game as a collector's edition. Skyrim Remastered. And I honestly didn't think we needed this. And of course I'm happy with the Skyrim Legendary Edition, which has all the DLC. However, Skyrim Collector's Edition does look like it's going to be the same thing but better. So I know it's going to immediately swap out with this version for the number 9 slot. And I love Skyrim. I mean, I really love it. Breathtaking landscapes, an immersive world, loads of items, you can become whoever you want to be. For example, in run through number 1, I became God of Skyrim. I conquered all of the various cults and clans. Raided dungeons, created legendary weapons. I could summon spirits to fight with me. My companion could do the same. I had a talking demon dog, and I could ride a flaming skeletal horse. There was no one who could stop me throughout all of the land. And then in my more recent run through, I adopted 2 kids and got married to Roggy Knotbeard. Very different experiences, both very fun. But the truth of the matter is, I may have never even been interested in Skyrim, but I found out about it the day before its release. Of course, I had heard people mentioning it here and there, and because I'm a fan of the Fallout series, I had been told to play Oblivion, which was essentially the same thing, but I always thought, nah, Fallout looks better graphically. And then, a day before Skyrim's release, I saw the IGN review and I went, that's Fallout, but it looks better and it's fantasy. I love it. And truthfully, I'm sure Skyrim won't be on this list forever, because one day Bethesda will come out with Elder Scrolls 6, and that'll just take its place. Number 8, Portal 2. Valve's hit Portal 2 came out just a few days before my birthday one year, and I had never played a game like this. This amazing blend of puzzle solving and comedy writing. These things just merged together so well, and I had never seen anything like it before. In fact, this was one of my first experiences with Valve as a company. I'd never played Portal 1. And while it was such a short game, I found myself absolutely enraptured and in love with the characters. The British evil villain, who was essentially just 343 Guilty Spark from Halo. The mechanic of the portal gun, GLaDOS. GLaDOS was fantastic. And what was even better, the moment I finished the story, which was absolutely hilarious, I could jump on with a friend and there was a whole multiplayer story to solve with him as well. One of the sad things I found about Portal 2 though is that it's not ultimately that replayable, because once you've heard the jokes and once you've solved the puzzles, those things are a little bit less appealing each time. That said, as a one-off experience, if you've never played Portal 2 and you've got a console to play it on, I can't recommend it enough. It's less than a day's worth of your time, and it's going to be time well spent. Oh, and I'm just really a big fan of Wheatley. Terrible accent. Number 7. Okay, number 7 is the game that every year at E3 I hope I hear about. Sadly, I think the franchise is dead. I don't think it's coming back from the grave, but it's the most amazing video game. And every year at E3 there's just one title I'm keeping my ears out for that I want to hear them say. TimeSplitters 4. Because TimeSplitters 3, Future Perfect, is one of my favourite video games ever. Just like Portal, you've got just a cast of the most hilarious characters. Cortez, your stereotypical space hero, goes back in time and meets kooky companions and even kookier villains. And the great thing about it is you don't need to play TimeSplitters 1 and 2. I played a bit of TimeSplitters 2, I've never played TimeSplitters 1. TimeSplitters 3 is its own game. And the premise of the game is this: you have some time shards, these crystals that you're going to use to go back in time to stop the war that's happening in humanity's future. And while you're on this super serious space mission, you interact with characters who are absolutely out of this world ridiculous. It's a classic time travel story, but with just such a wonderful, great twist. And the story isn't even the best part. The multiplayer is, and it's criminal that it never saw an online release. Maps as cool as any Halo or Call of Duty level, that's for sure. But you could select from hundreds of characters: robots, aliens, monkeys, machine monkeys, ninja monkeys, zombie monkeys. There's a lot of monkeys. Dinosaurs, a lion, the gingerbread man. I mean, the roster is unbelievable. And when accompanied with all the classic game modes, team deathmatch, capture the flag, virus, vampire, it's just such a fun play. And if you have never played it, grab a friend, go play the story, and then jump into the multiplayer and arcade modes. Number 6. Rolling around at the speed of sound. You hate me. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, or Battle 2, I think it's 2 Battle. This game is awful. I mean, it's actually atrocious. Terrible visuals, a subpar story, and a shooting mode that is just disastrous. So why do I love it so much? Maybe it's because I was young enough to appreciate it when it came out, and I just loved all the amazing characters, and I thought Shadow the Hedgehog was genuinely edgy. Or maybe it's just that wicked soundtrack. I don't know, I don't care. But you can't deny that this game, for whatever reason, has a massive cult following, and I am part of it. I also love the prequel, but because this is the one I played first, this is the one I have the most nostalgia for. And if you are using this list as a list of recommended games to play, I recommend this one the least. With this one, you had to be there at the time. That said, something you can definitely get into today is the game within the game, which is the Chow Garden. And like I say, it is a video game within a video game. You raise these Chow, you battle them, karate, boxing, racing. And I think that is better than the main story. And I love it. Plus, truthfully, there's just nothing better than running through the streets of the city. Trust me and we will escape from the city. Number 5. And number 5 is a zombie game. Oh, for Pete's sake, there's so many games about zombies. Left 4 Dead, which is great. Dead Rising, which is also alright. But are any of them incredible? Yes, and it's called The Last of Us. Where to begin with The Last of Us? Unlike Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, this is one where the story really counts. In fact, this whole game is about the story that it tells, and it is not a story about zombies. Zombies just happen to exist within the world where this story is taking place. The story of Joel and Ellie. These two characters made me actually feel incredibly powerful emotions for video game characters, something I don't think I'd really experienced before. At the beginning of the game, Joel experiences the beginning of the zombie apocalypse, the zombie outbreak. It's a virus. And then you jump forward in time and you meet Ellie, a girl who was just born while the virus was going around. She's younger than it. They've both experienced the world in very, very different ways, and they are very different characters as a result of it. And as you travel with them through the game, you really discover how two people who would be unlikely friends actually have one of the strongest bonds you'll ever see in a video game. Or even in a film, to be fair. When Joel is not in the same room as Ellie, I get worried. Where is Ellie? Is she okay? And in parts of the game where Ellie's not in the same room as Joel, where's Joel? Is he okay? You genuinely care about these characters. The story is an emotional one, and please, if you haven't had it ruined for you yet and you have access to a PlayStation 3 or 4, go and play The Last of Us. Number 4. Whew, okay, and with that out of the way, let's remember that the wasteland doesn't have to be bleak for everyone. In fact, for some people, it can be quite fun. It's just about how you look at it. Welcome to the world of Fallout. Specifically Fallout 4, of which I am a massive fan. This apocalypse tale is very, very, very different to The Last of Us. In fact, there isn't a strict story. It's an RPG, and much like Skyrim, you create your own character, developed by the same people. You explore the world they've given you, and you decide who you're going to be. Are you going to be a settlement guy who creates his own village and looks after people? Or are you going to be the ultimate killing machine of the waste, killing ghouls, deathclaws, and super mutants? One of the main things I love about Fallout 4 is the sheer amount of content and still unexplored to me. There's nothing more exciting than going to a settlement, talking to someone I've never spoken to before, and seeing what options they're going to give me. Are they going to stick their middle finger up and tell me to go away, or are they going to ask me for help? How am I going to respond to that ask for help? Am I going to stick my middle finger up at them? Am I going to shoot them? Am I going to help them? Am I going to ask for money to help them? What is good and bad, what I do, is entirely up to me. This game is a fantastic playing experience. And with DLC still coming out, I can't wait to see what other options the Wasteland gives me. Also, just the mood and atmosphere of the Fallout universe, this post-apocalyptic 1950s world with bobbleheads and Vault-Tec and Pip-Boys and of course, Nuka-Cola. This gaming world is one that I love the most. Number 3. There was only one real question back in 2012. Did you play Call of Duty or Halo? And for me, it's always been about Halo, especially the Master Chief. My favourite game of the franchise is Halo 3, although I suppose you can kind of count the Master Chief Collection, because the game I really love the most is Halo 3 ODST, and this is where it gets confusing. I love Halo 3's multiplayer, but they released a game called Halo 3 ODST, which has, I think, a better campaign, and then a second disc with Halo 3's multiplayer on it. So it's 2 games in one. It's called Halo 3 ODST. So I could say that's my second favourite game, but I could also say the Master Chief Collection is, which is a game that has the campaigns of Halo 1 through 4, but also Halo ODST and the whole multiplayer experience. However, I don't care for some of the other Halos so much, so I'm going to say Halo 3 ODST. The story of Halo 3 ODST is an invested one, it's an intense one. ODSTs are orbital drop shock troopers. They're not quite Marines, they're a little bit better, but they're also not as good as Spartans, like the Master Chief. You and your team are scattered across a city, and you, the new rookie, are the last person to wake up, and so you have to explore the city for clues as to where your teammates might be. As you find these clues, you experience missions through the form of flashbacks, and you play your other teammates. And at the end, you all reunite, and the whole thing happens over the course of one night. And the sounds are what truly makes this game amazing. The sound of rain and jazz music, that is what creates the atmosphere of Halo 3 ODST, and I can't recommend you play the story enough. There's also a pretty fun mode called Firefight, where you take on waves of alien invaders with your friends. You can have up to 4 friends on the one console, and strategizing with some of my friends over Xbox Live on how to beat these waves of aliens, the alien horde, is one of my favourite things to do. But truthfully, the favourite part of the game comes in the multiplayer disc, Halo 3. Just a variety of fun, colourful maps with power weapons, reds versus blues, capture the flag, infection. I have strong memories of jumping into custom games with strangers where they've set up all kinds of fun game modes for us to play. And despite the fact it came out nearly a decade ago, I'm still playing the Halo 3 multiplayer to this day. Like, literally, today I was playing it. And so if you're not looking to get into the whole Halo franchise, but want a taste of what it's all about, I recommend Halo 3 ODST. Number 2. Okay, so let's face it, you know which franchise number 1's gonna be, and I'll tell you which game specifically after this. But also stay tuned for some quick honorable mentions. For now though, number 2 is the other big Nintendo franchise that I love, The Legend of Zelda. And specifically, if I have to choose a game, Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker. And oh my goodness, it's such a toss-up between so many of the 3D Zelda titles, but Wind Waker takes it just by a little bit. And mostly because as a game, it doesn't age. Lots of the other Zelda games go for the gritty, realistic look, and Zelda went for this whole cel-shaded thing, which means, especially when you're playing the HD version, it still looks great to this day. A very simple story about a boy whose sister gets kidnapped, he goes to rescue her, and finds himself becoming the stuff of legends. It's pretty straightforward stuff, but the characters you meet, the world you explore, the great sea that you sail upon, that is what makes this game. Because across this great sea are islands with holding many mysteries, treasures, things for you to do and explore. It's hard to put into a video which is getting increasingly longer by the second, all the reasons I possibly love The Legend of Zelda as a series, but The Wind Waker is one of the truly defining games of that series. But of course I love many others of them as well, and so I'm gonna give them an honourable mention. So my honourable mentions are Zelda Twilight Princess, Zelda Ocarina of Time, Zelda Minish Cap, and Zelda Majora's Mask, which is probably at the lead of those. In no particular order, Phoenix Wright is the reason that I am on YouTube today, and while I've only in full played the first game, it is one of the best games I have ever played. Resident Evil 4 is also on this list, and it would be on this list if it wasn't for Ashley. And of course, one of the Pokemon side games, Pokemon Colosseum. It's a fantastic entry into an even better series. Number 1, of course, Pokemon. Hi, I'm Birdkeepertoby, and I make videos about Pokemon on the internet. That's what my whole channel is about. And I don't know, maybe you want me to do videos about other video game franchises, you'll have to let me know in the comments. But Pokemon is my favourite franchise, and it's so difficult to pick a favourite. But definitely the Generation 4 games, Platinum and Heart Gold and Soul Silver, really stick out. They were the pinnacle of Pokemon, I think. Not to say it's gotten worse by any means, just those games had the right amount of features, the right length in the story, and the right amount of challenge to them as well. I think a lot of Pokemon games risk becoming a little bit too easy. I think the ones that are the best are Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and if I have to pick one favourite, it's Soul Silver, just because I prefer Lugia. But this game is definitely one of the best games I've ever played. And I'm not saying it's the best game of all time, I'm not saying it's better than the other games, just my personal preference, it's no wonder I'm a Pokemon fan, is that Pokemon Soul Silver is one of the coolest Pokemon games I ever played. If you've played Pokemon and never played Soul Silver or Heart Gold, make sure you do. 16 badges instead of 8, Pokemon that follow you, and just a really good variety of Pokemon available to you. It's a re-release of the original Gold and Silver with a mix of Pokemon Crystal in there as well, which was of course one of my favorite stories. I love Pokemon. I love Pokemon Platinum, I love Pokemon Colosseum, but I really love Pokemon Soul Silver. But wait a second, Birdkeepertoby, you haven't played every video game that's out there, how can you know? Oh, that's a good point. This is just my list as of 2016, and my opinion might change. Which of course means that someone is going to have to recommend me some good, awesome games to play, maybe their top 10 list in the comments. Oh, you! If you're interested in Pokemon, make sure you subscribe to youtube.com/Birdkeepertoby, and so hi, Pokemon Masters. One final thing is that, of course, I want to thank my Patreons of the month, the biggest one of which, of course, was Sybronex. Thank you very, very much. Your support allows me to do so much on this channel, including transcribing all of the videos and translating them. So thank you.
This is Ash Ketchum. You just watched a video by Birdkeepertoby. That makes you a